might go Jordan to the top, here I go winning on like a maestro never gonna stop, no I won't I know I make it look easy, it took a lot of work, believe me, but now I look like Michael Jordan to the top, here I go to be the best, need to learn some lessons. To be the best, you can't second guess it. You need the tests, all the pain and stressing. Give me the pressure, man, that shit's a blessing. You gotta play every single day like it's your last, you ain't here to stay. Yeah, life ain't promised, it can always change, but you're here today. I shoot my shot like Michael Jordan to the top, here I go winning on like a maestro never gonna stop, no I won't I know I make it look easy, it took a lot of work, believe me, but now I look like Michael Jordan to the top, here I go those who stay humble, they become the legends. They let their work talk, it's never questioned. Don't put their time and energy to flexing. They watch and learn, everything's a lesson. They be looking for a title, ain't no runner-up, gotta win it all like Michael. Competition burns like a passion, like it's primal. Got that energy that could transfer, call it viral. Back to the core, I shoot my shot like Michael Jordan to the top, here I go winning on like a maestro never gonna stop, no I won't I know I make it look easy, it took a lot of work, believe me, but now I look like Michael Jordan to the top, here I go
Hey guys, what is up? What is up? Welcome to the MK Lounge. I brought it back. How's everyone doing? We're just here. We're just here to relax, have fun. Halftime's gonna pop in a bit, I believe. But yeah, just let's just all hang out and shoot the shit. Normal guy, what is good? What is good? Oh, I didn't even know about the DLC, honestly. I don't even... Yeah, I'm sure I never heard anything about it. So, yep. So, how's everyone doing? Pyro, if you're in here still, you can pop in. I know you have access to the StreamYard, just pop in if you want to. Yeah, now, if you guys want to talk about anything, that's what this is all for. This is what it's about. Just to have some fun, relax here in the lounge. And that guy Blaze is live. Of course he's live. Why wouldn't he be? And this is better than AEW. All the wrestling fans out there. All the wrestling fans out there. This is better than AEW. Huh. Kendra Perkins, top 5 point guards in the NBA. You have Kate at 5, you got Luka at 4, Steph at 3, Brunson at 2, Shea at 1. Huh. Feels like he's missing somebody. Darius Garland? Byro, if you're available, pop on in. Come on to StreamYard and pop on in if you're available, bro. If you're available, pop on in. Because I know if you watch Locale Live, dude, if you watch Locale Live, it was hectic today. So I want to hear your thoughts on that if you actually watched it. Hey! What is up, man? How's it going?
Hello.
How's it going, man? Let me make this louder.
Yeah, I know you had the 5 o'clock. You did the Sixers alert.
A Sixers alert? Yep. That's what I'm going to do on Wednesdays now. Since pick and roll is now on Thursdays. So that's what I'm doing. That's my 5 o'clock slot now.
All right.
And I actually had, you need a code again? Which email was it? The Hardcore Sports one? Was it the gaming one?
No, I don't need a code.
No, not you. Pyro. Pyro's
Okay.
in the network, so he's gonna pop on for a bit. Is it the gaming one again? You need the. It's the same email, so you don't need the email. You can just type on in, dude. You can just type it in. But I actually had a good take on Sixers alert. I'm still gonna make a thumbnail for it. I'll do that tomorrow. It's a hardcore sports gaming at gmail.com. That's what it is. Um, do you think Joel Embiid wants out? Because I think he wants out of Philly, dude. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
I see where you're coming from because of all the time he's missed. You think he might be trying to not play. I mean, that may or may not be. I don't know though, but I could see that because he hasn't been motivated really to play. He's been late to a lot of meetings. Like Maxie called him out on it. So this could be a sign of lack of commitment because he wants to move on. But then again, I mean, it could be part that, could be the injury as well. But it will be
All right,
interesting to see
Pyro,
what
I
they
give
do
you the
during the
email.
off season.
Yeah, like for me, this is how I said it. And it's actually going to be on the YouTube Shorts. Actually, it's going to be a YouTube Shorts. It's enough time for that. It started off with the Marcus Hayes comments, dude. That's where it started off as. Remember that whole article about his brother?
Yes.
That's where it all started. Now people are saying like if it all started with him, what he said in New York, like how he owns New York or whatever. But yeah, I gave you the email, Pyro. Let me know when you need the code because it says right here. Okay, you just need a code. Let this But yeah, it starts off with the Marcus Hayes. It really then it adds up with the injuries. It goes into that. It goes into just the team in general, the front office, the Nick Nurse, his rotations and all that. I'm telling you, dude, that's where it fucking started. Alright, I'm just gonna DM it to you right now. I got it, Pyro. Eh, come on. But yeah, it's I think Maxie might want out too. I know I talked about this a while back. I think Maxie might want out. Maybe even Paul George.
Well, I think with George, he's going to want to use excuse. He's going to want the injury excuse, as Blaze alluded to.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like Paul George. That sounds like Paul George. But he's stuck. I think Paul George is the most stuck out of everyone. Joel Embiid, he's still got the trade value there. It might not be as much, but Paul George's trade value, dude, it's gone. It's down. Maxie's, if he requests a trade, a team will pick him up like that. A team will pick him up like that. Embiid, someone will take him. The amount that we will want back, we will not get. That's the thing. We will not get that back. But we will not get that much. And then with Paul George, who's going to want him after what he pulled this year? He scored 7 points yesterday. He scored 7 in like 30 minutes. So, and then tomorrow we play the Celtics. Maxey is out. Maxey's already out. You got that. Justin Edwards is questionable. Pop one in Pyro.
Yeah.
Hey, can you mute the stream? I can hear myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Nikki, this is Pyro. Pyro just joined the network. He does the Monday Night Raw post show, and I uploaded his take on the whole Thundy trade for Kansas City Chiefs. I
Yeah.
uploaded that as well. So, and this is Nikki Steves, man. He does Eagles, Sixers, basketball, football as a whole. So, and you know what I was thinking, Nikki? Remember how I asked you if you were thinking of a co-host or whatever for Sundays? I
Yep.
thought of him right out of the gate. So if you want to take the first episode, because I'm about to finish your logo will be done tonight.
Alrighty.
If you want to take the first one to see how it goes, and then you'll be like, hey, Mitch, I need a co-host. I got you. So,
All right.
yep. He's doing the Celtics game tonight. Mike Tricko? Really? He's doing the Celtics. Boo. I don't care. It's the freaking Celtics. Everyone's out. Tatum's out. Porzingis is out.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Typical, like low
Yeah.
management.
Yeah.
Low management. But
Typical Celtics of the new regime. It's just it's brutal.
yeah. So I want to hear your take again on the whole Kansas City Chiefs trade. Don't need for a fourth? For a
And it's not
freaking fourth?
even and it's not even just a fourth. It's also a fourth for not this year but next year. That's what hurts. It's
Oh
not even helping
wow.
us for this year. And I'm thinking like I guess I'll take the pick. He's only in a 1 year anyways. It'll help out for developing a player, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's only for the next season, which means we could have easily have just kept tuning. And I know it's for cap reasons, but let's be for real. We could have gotten so much more. And I know people were saying like age, like no one would have had, wanted. Oh, there goes my drink. Okay, it's fine. It's
All
in a
good, dude. All
bottle.
good. Yeah, you're good.
But no, it's Joe Tooney is a guy you can put him anywhere on the line, and I know he's 33 years old. He's not what he used to be, but he definitely is one of the best guards of the entire league still, and that's something that doesn't just come to you. That's something that I mean, I know we have Trey Smith. We had
Yeah.
to, we got lucky with Trey Smith, but that's the thing. Sometimes with development comes luck. And with the skill sets of Tooney, where he can just go to left tackle, he can go to left guard, he can play as a center, that
Mhm.
is something that you don't get every single day. And so I know we had to do it for cap reasons. I kind of get it, but at the same time, I'd rather sacrifice a guy like Kareem Hunt, who
Yeah.
he did play really good, but I'd rather sacrifice a Kareem Hunt than sacrifice somebody who's actually protecting Mahomes.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. I was talking to my dad about this. Debo only got traded for a fifth.
I know
It's just like everyone's getting traded for nothing.
that's been a
For
trend
nothing.
for a long time, and especially with Kansas City. I remember Kansas City giving up so many great players for
Yeah.
either just to not re-sign them, or the fact that they just wanted a third round pick. They wanted a fourth, a sixth round pick. I think we even traded a dude that was really solid for a sixth round pick. And I'm thinking, what did we develop this guy for if we're not getting any value? I think the value in the NFL, other than the money, because the money market is way too high. I think NFL players are getting paid way too much. But the trade values and the free agency values are so low, it is disgusting.
Yeah. So, Nikki, give me your take on the whole Tunning trade.
I mean, it's surprising for one, and
Yeah.
very curious as to what they're going to do now.
I
Because
don't
you
understand
trade
it.
away one of your best linemen, and now what do you do from here? Do you go draft some? Are you looking to get someone in the draft, or are you going to do something in free agency? I mean, got to come up with something as at least have a suitable replacement.
Right.
And we don't. That's the problem. We don't. We're still looking for a guy who can even put the. By the way, hello, normal guy. I did not. I did see your comment. I wanted to say what's up to you as well.
Mhm.
But that's the thing, man. Kansas City. We saw in the Super Bowl. We saw even this season. We do not have anybody reliable to step up to the plate. We had Joe Tooney be a left tackle in the Super Bowl because of that,
Yep.
and it's really weird because we're thinking about building for more of a dynasty. What's up, Wesley? Um, but we're not looking like a continued dynasty if we can't even what's his name?
You're
Crazy
so right, normal guy. Jonathan Mingo got traded for a better pick than Debo.
for real though. But I guess I'm not too terrified because we did after our first Super Bowl, we did lose two of our best tackles. We literally lost our left and right tackle, and we were able to rebuild within a year. So it's
Right.
not the worst thing because we have that thing in Veach we trust, but it's not like you can just recycle, what's that called? Recycle, replenish,
Yeah.
recycle.
Replenish. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And we can't do that every single time. At some point, the Belichick, the Andy Reid experience has to end somewhere. I'm a little terrified if that is going to end.
Here's Thank God for bringing up Andy Reid because you were talking about the offensive line, that trade. He's known for building offensive lines.
Yeah.
Like he's known for building offensive lines, defensive lines. Look
Mhm.
what he did with the Eagles all those years ago. Now with
I
the
agree.
Chiefs, how is your offensive line and defensive line? Obviously, we cooked you, but I just want to know coming from your side, how were they all year?
Yeah, so you look at the numbers, and this has been the case for Andy Reid every single year. If you look at the numbers, it doesn't look strong at all. I mean, you
Correct.
got Chris Jones. He hasn't even hit 10 for the past couple of years. I think the last time he hit over 10 sacks was 2 years ago. I could be wrong, but either last year or I think last year only had 9. But anyways, we haven't had somebody really step up that much in our defensive line for number wise for a long time. But I think the deal is if you look at the run stopping, and the Eagles are still doing this to this day, the Packers are still doing this to this day. When he helped coach with the Packers, even though he was a quarterbacks coach, he still did a lot for that team when it
Yeah.
comes to building and strategizing. Packers, Eagles, Chiefs, they have the same exact strategy: run stop and have everybody attack at once. And
Yeah.
I think that's what really helps when you apply pressure. And nobody really talks about applying pressure enough when they say 2023 10.5. Okay, yep, you're right. I might be
Damn.
thinking of a different year then.
Nah,
But
you're good. You're good.
see, there's a lot of stats in my mind, y'all.
There is. There
But
is. Yeah.
yeah, it's it's not hard to have disbelief in Andy Reid when it comes to developing and with Veach. It's just you can't always find that golden goose, and at some point that train is going to fall. But with Andy Reid, yeah, it's always been run stopping and pressure. If you have the
Yeah.
pressure on the quarterback, you're going to win. You're going to win the battle there, and I think that's what Andy Reid's going to continue to do. It's just who's he going to do it with? I think the defensive line was really good last year, not because of the numbers, but because of what they did. I think the offensive line is the biggest problem for sure.
Here's the thing. You got to thank Buffalo, man, for not taking Worley, the wide receiver. You got to
We
thank
traded.
Buffalo.
We traded for it, man. We told
Yeah.
Buffalo like, "Hey, we know what you're doing. Give me." we did that twice though. It's 3 times. We did that 3 times to him with the Mahomes trade, with the trade for McDuffie, and for Worthy. We own the Buffalo Bills. I don't give a damn what anybody says about the Chiefs. Buffalo has no room to talk because in free agency and the draft and in the postseason, we own the Bills always.
Yeah, I agree with that 1000%. Because here's the funniest thing. I used to be good friends with this girl, right? We used to be very good friends. She's a diehard Bills fan, right?
Ugh.
And this is when they suck. Like terrible.
Oh, God.
Like I had to go to
Oh,
her
no.
house in a
Like
Bill
Tyrant.
jersey to show support, and then when I come back and I see like this was when Tom Brady was still playing. So
It's like
you have
Tyrod
like
Taylor days.
yeah, you got like the Tom Brady going up against Manning, and I'm like, do I hate myself here? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Well, you even mentioned Manning. That took a few years out of my life. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's that. Okay.
Buffalo Bills' daddy is the Chiefs. God damn right.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean, in the 90s, that's not true. But in the 60s, the 70s, and now, that's definitely the truth.
here's the thing. I ended that friendship after the Bills. I couldn't take it anymore. I ended it. I was like, bye. And this was like 2 years ago before the Eagles won the first Super Bowl.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, thank God. Thank God it's over. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
I felt so relieved. So, Nikki, do you want to talk about your new show? Or it's your chance right now if you want to
No,
talk
right
about it.
now I'm in the works of it. It's going to be called the 3-Point Blitz. Going to be talking about NBA and NFL related content. I was
Yeah.
thinking about doing it Sundays at 7 p.m. and using it as a recap of the main week's events from Monday
Good.
up to if anything big happens on Sunday itself.
Right. I'm actually working on your logo right now. I just want it done. Like, here's something about me, man. If you guys need a logo or a thumbnail or something, I'm like right on it. Every morning, 8 o'clock or whenever I wake up, I go to my kitchen table, I listen to music or podcasts, and I work on scheduling streams. I work on finding new people for the network, like Pyro and stuff like that. I'm doing work at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh damn!
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
usually
got
get
to,
up that for school, man. Hell.
yeah, yeah. Like guys, if you really want to know what happens, go on my Discord because I'm gonna do behind the scenes stuff. Like at 9 o'clock in the morning, my computer's on, got Canva open or something. I'll be reacting to a video. Tom Grassi, I still got to do that. Still got to react to that.
Go Pack,
What?
go!
Are you're a Tom Grassi fan?
Well, I'm my second team's the Packers, so
Uh,
I agree with his team choice.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not like a bandwagon. It all happened when I was a kid. I was a big helmet guy, and I was a big fan of both teams because they were both always on my TV. And
Yeah.
I was a big Aaron Rodgers guy, Clay Matthews, and then Kansas City was known for fucking Matt Castle's dumbass and Romeo Crennel, and I always saw both teams um, on the screen, and then the Super Bowl 45 happened, and then every time I looked into a mall, it was always Packers and Chiefs helmets and merchandise, and it just caught my eye really well. So that's
There you
why I've
go.
always been a Packers and a Chiefs fan. But I've always number one's been Chiefs, two has always been Packers.
Here's the thing with me, right? My second favorite team was the Vikings. Okay. And this was
That's
before
my
what happened
fiance's
with
second.
yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have a house divided kind of thing. But I made him put on a Aaron Rodgers jersey one time, and we beat the Vikings that day. So I'm pretty content with it.
Yeah, but I was a diehard Vikings fan because of Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
Be-
okay.
Because I loved him. He was like my favorite running back at that time. But then I'm like, okay, he did that. I'm out. I'm out.
See,
Like,
yeah. See,
yeah,
I'm a linebackers guy. I've always been a fan of the linebackers. That's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite position is the linebacker position. And Kansas
oh
City
yeah,
and the Packers have always been known for those positions.
yeah, yeah. Now the Eagles just got their linebacker. We just got ours back. He stayed. Zach Bond.
Bond, 3 years,
Nikki,
baby.
There you
Nikki,
go.
give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts, man.
Man, I'm happy, man. I'm thrilled. He was the main guy. He was the main guy that led that linebacking core last year. Over 110 tackles, and even in the Super Bowl, getting a pick as well. He just all season long, he was a big hit factor for this Eagles defense. Now we got him back on a new contract. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then we got Saquon Barkley extended as well. Like back-to-back days. It started off with Slay getting cut. Then Bradbury. We got Barkley, and then we got Bond. So I'm like, Howie, can you please rebuild the Sixers? Please, is that a possibility? Please, I'm
There
begging
you
you.
go.
I'm
Aaron
begging. Please, I'm begging you.
You got to pull an Aaron Rodgers for that one.
Yeah. You know what? I think I told you this before. Where do I think DK's going? I think he's going to Green Bay.
You
I
think
honestly think
they?
I think Green Bay. You got
Hmm.
Jordan Love. What would the Packers have to give up for that, you think?
Man, we just saw where Joe Tooney went.
Yep.
A freaking fourth rounder for a second for the next freaking year.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably have to go for at least a third. I mean,
Done.
realistically, like he's obviously one of the best receivers. He's going to at least be in the top 5 or top 10 in receiving.
Yeah.
But I mean, with how the market's been, I'd say a third.
Oh my. Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Like
Packers can
no.
afford it. That's the thing. The Packers can't afford it.
Oh yeah, they can afford any Packers. They're good. Can you imagine what if you got him with Jordan Love? That would be crazy as hell.
And you got Dobbs right there developing, man. You got all those players and the that needs that type of mentor to help them out. Like I gotta check out this Packers receiver roster because it's not a bad roster like people try to say. It's just not developed, and that's the problem. Like people put a lot of pressure on the receiving core for the Packers, and they're like, "Oh, they're never going to win a game." I mean, you have 800 yards for Jaden Reed, and then
Yeah,
Watson's starting to maybe do something, but Romeo Dobbs was the main guy. Romeo Dobbs was the guy that was starting to show a lot last year. I mean, the yards don't show it, but it definitely
right.
shows with how he played. You put him against a guy like, I mean, with a guy like DK, woohoo! You're gonna get some playmaking. You're gonna get like, what was that one guy? Tyler. Uh,
Lockett?
yeah, Tyler Lockett. Him and Tyler Lockett were really great together, and Tyler Lockett was one of those slept-on receivers. Now you got another scenario like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I'm telling it. About time he requested a trade.
Hmm.
About time. Because if it wasn't for that, he would have been stuck. What did
Yeah.
Seattle have going for them? Seriously.
What if though? What if though? Pete Carroll is a Raider now. What if he goes to the Raiders?
That is a good point. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He owns that. He's a partial owner of that team.
He's partial owner, and plus the fact that if you look at how Aaron Rodgers went to New York, and then Devontae Adams wanted to go with Aaron Rodgers, or the fact that even Devontae wanted to go to Las Vegas because of Derek Carr. It feels like nowadays you have a lot of players like Gronkowski joined Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. Speaking of Tom Brady,
Yeah.
it feels like there's a trend where the same team will always find the same players, or the same players will find the same team as the player, or the personnel. And you can't have a Tom Brady or you can't have a Gronk without a Tom Brady. You can't have an Adams without a Rodgers. You can't have. There's a lot of scenarios out there, and honestly, Russell Wilson, I think, is going to be a free agent. What if
Yep.
he's a Raider? And then what if he is with DK again with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas? Since they are rebuilding that whole entire management, the whole team, they just put Max Crosby in with a new deal. That would terrify the hell out of me. I'll tell you what. I'm not terrified of Wilson, but man, the scenario that they're going into might be a little scary, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. Nikki, how do you feel about that? Do you think where do you think Russell Wilson is going? First off, so you said Raiders. I think he's gonna go back to the Steelers. I think he's staying. How about you?
I'm leaning more toward him going back to the Steelers. I think because Pete Carroll already parted ways with Wilson. I don't believe Pete Carroll at this point is going to look at Russell Wilson as the same guy who we had coached for years that started in 2 Super Bowls for them. He's probably
Right.
looking for someone else, and they should be in good position to at least draft a quarterback, which they should have done last year, but they passed up on that because they definitely need and it would be stupid at this point. They need a long-term guy for the future. You
Yeah.
can't. I mean, you tried last year with Gardner Minshew, who was a journeyman backup, and look where that got you. I mean, Wilson last year, even with Seattle, he didn't make as many mistakes, but he didn't really play that great if you actually look closer at it. How many great offensive games did the Steelers have? They had one against the Bengals, but outside of that, it's hard to think of a great offensive performance by the Steelers last season.
Yeah. There we go. That's better.
So
Nikki, I have it done.
all right, I'll check it out in a minute. So Russell Wilson looked better than he did in Denver by default, but he didn't do anything spectacular. And you saw that got exposed late in the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You also got to remember who he was with, though. I gotta say, Nathaniel Hackett completely killed that whole team.
Yeah.
I
This is
gotta
coming.
point that out.
He's a Steelers fan. Vic is a diehard Steelers fan.
Ooh.
So if you guys are in the Discord, he's the guy that puts all the news in. So if you guys need any breaking news, Vic is there in the Discord. But he thinks Justin Fields is going to be quarterback 1, which I'm like, you need a quarterback. You still need a quarterback, people. And I was just like, I remember this one episode of the NFL Sunday morning show we do on Sundays on the network. I'm like,
Nice.
they were like, Okay, you got a tight end. You need a quarterback. But we're gonna get a running back. You need a quarterback. I'm like, I'm keep on saying quarterback, quarterback. I don't
I
have
mean,
to
that's
say
what
that about my
teams,
Eagles anymore.
right? I mean, hey, that's what every team needs, though. That's always the case. Not every team I've learned. Oh, you at least need a solid linebacker and a solid quarterback to make a team good. That's always the case.
Correct.
You gotta look for Kansas City. You gotta look for when the Seahawks are good. I mean, I know they you had the Legion of Boom, but you had Bobby Wagner and prime Russell Wilson there,
Yeah.
and plus look at the Patriots too. What was their defense mostly about? Their secondary did great, but look what was really the main event was their linebackers. I think
Yeah.
linebacker help has a lot to do. And then you have a quarterback. Every team needs a solid quarterback. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what running back you have. You're not going to succeed in this day and age without a solid quarterback.
Right. So, Nikki, you ready? I just had it done. Let me share the screen. And Vic says Fields in his 6 games as a starter, he threw 1 pick. I remember that too. I remember that. He was like on fire with the Steelers.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I forgot that at first. Dude.
I thought it was stupid that they ended up benching him. I didn't think Russell Wilson should have ever came back on that field.
Right? I was so confused when they did that. But other Steelers fans were telling me, Mitch, it was time. It was time for that to happen. I'm like, okay, I don't watch the games. I don't watch the games. It's not like basketball where you can just watch for 5 seconds and get the whole gist. But Nikki's right here. Let me know what you think.
All right. All right.
You like it?
Yeah, so far.
I'm done. That's
A
it.
nice one right there. Now I'll just have to add.
What do you want me to add?
I'm gonna think about adding a like
Because you got football.
half football field, half basketball court, but I can do that through Canva.
This was on Canva.
Yeah, I use Canva. I can tell. I mean, not in the bad way, but like I can. I use
Yeah.
Canva, so
So what? As the background? Because I thought you just wanted it as like a PNG type. Because if you want you want something behind it, because I can definitely do that. I can split it. And I can turn it. So it's up to you, it's your thing. The Patriots linebacker back in the day, Willie McGinnis. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah. God. I don't know if you remember this linebacker at all for the Seattle Seahawks. So underrated. Lofa Tatupu. Do you remember him at all?
I think I do.
He was the guy he was the linebacker that picked him off 3 times. That had 3 interceptions, ran 2 back for a how to the touchdown. I'm telling you, I miss that guy. Why am I getting?
Hey,
Why
maybe
am I
that's why
getting
the Bills are doing so bad. They don't have a solid number one linebacker, and Kansas City does. Shots fired.
Right. Yeah, I'm just like, dude. Now the Eagles Eagles are fine. I'm like, there's no way you can ruin it. There's no way.
Eagles defense, other than maybe that secondary needs a little help, but like, dude,
It's,
the
I mean,
damn
we let go.
Eagles front is like crazy.
Here's the thing, right? With the Eagles secondary, let go Bradbury. He didn't play at all this year. Slay, who's getting old, I still think they might bring him back on a cheaper deal. So you got to keep that in mind. But then you got Cooper DeJean, pick 6 in the Super Bowl. You have Quinyon Mitchell. You got, I think Reed Blankenship might be gone. I think they might let him go and draft a safety in the draft, even though I'm a big Blankenship fan. And Garner Johnson is Garner Johnson. So if the linebacker is the biggest need, we have Zach Bond, but we still, because N'Kobe Dean may not even play at all next year. So I'm like, okay, we got him. Orion Burks is there, but I'm still like, we may need another piece. You agree with that, Nikki?
I mean, we're going to eventually lose. We're going to lose some depth for sure. So
Oh yeah.
we
We're
definitely need someone.
gonna lose Sweat. We're gonna lose Sweat. We're gonna lose
Oh, Josh
Milton
Sweat's so
Williams,
good.
Yeah.
and this is what my dad said earlier. Nikki, let me know what you think about this. Yeah, the Saints need a quarterback. Halftime believes that the Saints are gonna get Kenny Pickett because of the whole
Whoa.
quarterback because
Oh
Kellen
gosh.
Moore. So
Good luck having a bad quarterback then.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad said this. Nikki, let me know if you agree. My dad said to franchise tag Mekhi Becton to have a franchise tag
Hmm.
because you're gonna lose other guys. Mel Williams is gonna ask for a lot of money. I agree with my dad. I usually don't agree. Me and him butt heads about every little thing, but I agree. Nikki, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, we definitely need it's somebody on the offensive line we definitely need for sure because we're not getting any younger. We saw offense has stability on both sides of the ball is important, but then again, you could argue with going with a Milton Williams, but I get McKay Becton. He's the one that stands out the most to me. And
Yeah,
realistically, he's a long shot. Or what am I look like? He's the guy most likely to get signed on the offensive line by someone. He's going to be on the market. Someone's going to get him. You want to protect somebody, that would be one guy to protect. I'd also argue Milton Williams could be another.
yeah.
Like, but
I
you
think
got
he's
to try
gone.
to protect somebody because they're going to be top market free agents, especially fresh off a Super Bowl win. The teams that go furthest in the playoffs, their free agents you're always the top of the market for other teams.
Yeah. Shout out to Cool Cat. He is live right now talking about Zach Bond. So shout out to him. He's live on the network right now.
Because
Um,
realistically, you're more
Nice.
likely to have guys like Kenneth Gainwell or Britton Covey on the market late as still being guys that are available because they're
the
not
Saints
heavy
need
on the
everything.
market.
Yeah, the Saints definitely need everything, bro. They
Yet they have
definitely need
nothing to
everything.
give. What are they, 59 million cap?
Yeah. I just gotta say this. Thank you, New Orleans, for Zach Bond.
Bro, New
They let
Orleans
him
gave
go.
everybody away.
Yeah, thank you for Gardner Johnson all those years ago. And then thank you, Detroit, for letting him go. We get him back. And then thank you, Giants, for Saquon Barkley. I can be nice to everybody.
I actually have an issue with the Saints myself because
Hit
when you
me.
guys were getting everybody, Kansas City was losing all of our players to New Orleans, plus the fact that New Orleans gave what was it I'm sorry, what was his name, Hutchinson, the guy that went to Cincinnati.
Ada. Oh.
Yeah, no, not Aiden.
Yeah, I'm like, that's my guy from Michigan. He's like,
Yeah.
no.
What the hell is it? Oh, I forgot his damn name, but he was like a beast. Oh,
Oh,
that
Pistons versus Clippers? I got you guys. I got the Pistons winning, David. I got the Pistons winning by
oh.
far. Pistons are playing good. Pistons are playing good. And no Ben Simmons. For the Clippers, that's just plain old funny. But for the Saints, thank you for Zach Bond. And they still have Kamara. They still have Kamara. He's running away from
There
the
we go.
law. He still hasn't been caught. He still hasn't been caught. He's running away from the law.
So you're going to go on with that one.
Oh my God, I'm gonna keep on going with that one because it's funny. I think it's funny. So it's just like, see what they did with Adrian Peterson. The Vikings, they
for
let
Alvin
him
Kamara?
go. Yeah, Alvin Kamara is still running away from the
I
police,
forgot what happened with Kamara.
right? He got injured this
Well, he is
past
a
year.
running back after all.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did get
I
injured this
see.
past week.
Yeah,
Pacers.
injured.
Yeah.
Injured.
Yo, Nick.
Probably his way of getting out of court.
Go check out the clip I sent you. Go check out the clip I sent you. Make it into a YouTube short. I sent him the link to hop on. He did not take the invite. Yeah. And Carr. They have Derek Carr too. I keep on forgetting that.
At least they took Carr out of Las Vegas, but the problem is I kind of miss laughing at the guy. So like,
Oh my God.
I don't know. Like he used to beat us a couple times, but it was just annoying. It wasn't even just games that we were hurting on. It just was annoying, and he beat me in my 18th birthday, and it pissed me off. But And yeah, there's a full story of that one. But
I texted it to you. I texted it. iPhone message. I texted it to you. What is this?
But yeah, though I have a love-hate relationship with Derek Carr 'cause he's like a little brother to Kansas City. He's that annoying little prick
Right.
that shows up a couple times. I'm sure everybody has that, but yeah.
So this is what Cool Cat Connor calls the Saints. He says that the Saints is the new Jalen Hurts is the Saints' daddy. He was like, "Thank you, kids." I see you now. Perfect. Appreciate it. Yeah. But what's the scores around the league right now? NBA. Let me take a look. The Celtics are about to beat the Trailblazers without Tatum, without Porzingis, 126 to 118. You have the Timberwolves beating the Hornets 112 to 97. The Heat are beating the Cavs by 5 with 6 minutes left in the fourth. Washington is beating Utah by 5 with 6 minutes left in the fourth. Dallas is down Milwaukee. Oh my God. Milwaukee's beating Dallas 72 to 53 a half. Yeah, Dallas is done. Denver's playing Sacramento. You got Thunder versus Grizzlies tonight. You got Detroit versus Clippers, and that's pretty much it. No Sixers. Thank God. I got to stream tomorrow's game against the Celtics. Yay. Yippee. Oh yeah, Payne Pritchard is going off tonight. Wait. Pritchard and Derek White both have 40+ points. Wow. I gotta look at the box score here. Dude, Pritchard got 41 points off the bench.
What?
He got 41 points off the bench. I said he's going to win 6th Man of the Year. I should have called him before. Look, Derek White's got 41 points right now. He's starting. Pritchard, 42 minutes off the bench. 41 points, 10 boards, 5 assists. 14 for 20 for the field, 10 for 16 for 3. 3 for 3 for the free throw line. What is this? Oh, they're playing the Trailblazers. Makes sense. That makes sense. And by the way, Nikki, the Sixers have worse record than the Trailblazers.
Yeah, because the Blazers actually have 28 wins.
What's your condition? Yeah. But dude, like what? So Pyro, what's your team on basketball again? Who's person?
It kind of happened accidentally.
What? You're like going.
Were you able
in
to
and
hear
out.
me well? My I think my computer.
Yeah,
messed up a little bit.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay.
Now
Sweet.
you're going in.
So to answer that question, if
Yeah.
it happened, huh?
What is it?
Oh, did my thing messed up again?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Celtics and Heat because it happened accidentally, but yeah, Celtics and Heat are my team.
You're gonna beat us on tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey, Celtics suck, or not Celtics. The Heat suck right now, though. So like, that's what I'll.
They're better than the Sixers. They're better than the Sixers.
Yeah, but we did just lose Jimmy Butler, and that hurts a little bit.
Still better than the Sixers. Anything you can say, I'm gonna respond with still better than the Sixers.
Hey, I'm happy with my Celtics, though. I'm happy with the Celtics.
Eric Spoelstra's gone. Let's say hypothetically, Eric Spoelstra's gone. Still better than the Sixers. Oh, Pat Riley's retiring. Oh, still better than the Sixers. You guys will be better than us no matter what you do. No matter what you do.
Yeah.
Philly halftime. Philly halftime's a guy in the network. Me and him stream Weekend Wake Up every Saturday at 10:30. So I agree with that. There, so see, he's a Thunder
Well, I
fan,
could
of
be a
course.
Wizards fan. I'm
I'd
just
rather
glad
be
we're
the
not all
Wizards.
Wizards fans.
I'd rather be a Wizards fan than the Sixers right now.
What, dude? They only have 11 wins.
I know.
They suck.
I yeah, that's a team that Sixers are actually better than. Gonna talk about hot takes and headlocks. All right, that sounds good. Sounds good. But guys, if you haven't checked out Monday Night Raw's post show with Pyro, the Raw Chaos coverage. Hey, I got it right. I finally got it right. Raw Chaos
Yeah, I'm working
coverage
on it.
next Monday. Hey, right after Raw, you did a great job, dude. You did a great job. I
Really?
watched the
I
whole
thought I
thing
sucked,
twice.
bro.
No, you did great.
Oh,
You did
sweet.
great. You did better than I ever would.
I'm still
Like,
pumping. I'm still pumping it up, man. I got a lot of stuff to bring to it, man. So
I see that. I uploaded the punny video already.
yeah.
I got to talk to my guys about the gaming channel thing. I got to talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to them. I'm sure it's not a problem because I want to do it and I oversee everything. So I'm like, it's probably gonna
Hey.
happen.
Do you see my my stop motion video?
Yes, that was good. That was good. You know
Yeah.
who you remind me of?
Huh.
Eric from Locale Live with the Lego thing. You're
Wasn't he
telling me
on
that?
today? Wasn't he just
Yeah,
on today?
yeah. Because he didn't get
Oh.
the movie done on time, so he got
Yeah,
punished.
he's the one that
He
got
got to
punished.
throw. He had to throw whipped cream on his face.
That was funny. I saw that today.
Oh my god, this
That's
episode was
good.
just like crazy.
Dude, and then
They-
Becky came screaming and shit, dude, and you had Savage. Oh, good God, dude.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not listening to Queens.
There you go.
They were actually pranking Tina, Mike and Becky. They were telling Tina that it was her birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just
Doesn't Mike know that? Wouldn't she know when her birthday is? Tina.
because she's so stupid. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
it's
Trailer brains right there.
Yep. Locale rewind at 9:30.
There you go.
He saved YouTube. That. Yeah. I'll send you the link. Yeah. There's not. But dude, it's crazy. It's crazy without. Hey, Nikki, remember him? Lindy?
Oh,
You remember
yeah,
Lindy?
Lindsay. Long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he popped on when after the Super Bowl victory, I went live. So he popped on, he joined me. We talked for like 20 minutes. Sup, Lindy? How's it going, man? How's it going? But here, let me just send you that link now before I forget. Because knowing me, I will forget. So Nikki, what else did you want in that logo? Just like a background or something?
Yeah, pretty much like
Got it.
left-hand side of court or left-hand side of field,
I got-
football field, right-hand side of court.
Uh-huh. And Pyro, this is Philly Halftime's link. You can subscribe to it whenever. There you go. My prediction, Chris Godwin to the Steelers? Are you
No
saying
way.
everyone will go to the Steelers? That's basically what he's saying. He's saying
There's
everybody will go
no-
to the Steelers.
There's literally no way that the Steelers would even make that move. Like the Steelers are
Correct.
not smart enough to make that kind of move.
Correct.
And they know. I feel like the Steelers would know that that would then create a really bad locker room problem with Pickens.
Yeah.
I don't see that being a good idea at all.
And you have Roman Wilson there too. Don't forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he was so good at Michigan. Why do my Michigan players get injured or get drafted by the Cowboys? Dude, Aiden Hutchinson injured, Roman Wilson injured, and 2 Michigan guys got drafted by the Cowboys. Like, why? Did I do something wrong with my past life?
Just sign Braun Breaker and you'll be fine.
Peyton Pritchard finished with 43 points, 10 boards, 5 assists. Jesus. Who has him in fantasy, Nikki? Someone has to have him. Because it's a cry by a king.
Oh, I
That's with
agree.
That's with every wide receiver.
Yeah, that's also true. That's why we got rid of Tyreek Hill's ass.
He's
And look
feeling like
at Miami now. They're probably like, oh shit, we did a wrong decision
Hey,
trading for this
Mitch,
guy.
Pyro,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure stopping by. Pyro,
All right, man.
interesting to meet you, hear your takes.
Yeah.
Good meeting you, man.
Who has Payne Pritchard? I
All
gotta
right,
look
y'all
at that.
take care. Have a great night.
You too, man.
You too, man. I'll have the logo done tomorrow.
Now it's just
hold on.
down to 2. Dun, dun,
Don't
dun.
worry, someone else will pop in.
Oh, it's all good.
Wait,
I ain't worried.
Payton Pritchard is a free agent?
Who?
The guy who dropped 43 points off the Celtics bench.
Oh.
Gimme. No one had
Oh,
to.
yeah.
My.
Oh, good
My.
goddamn.
I don't know who to grab.
All right then.
I'll cop
know.
you. I'll cop you. I don't care. I'll cop you. I'll fix that lineup later.
So Peyton Pritchard, that's crazy.
Yeah. Nick,
Why are the
no one
Celtics
had...
already getting rid of players, dude? That's freaking weird.
Right. Remember.
Like you
They're
think
not. No. He's a free agent in fantasy.
would
I'll
do-
take him.
they had.
Yeah. Hold on. Now I gotta fix my lineup. All right, Lindy, I'll give you the link in a sec. Give me 1 sec here. I gotta fix this before somebody actually cites it.
Oh.
And I picked him up just in time to play against the Sixers tomorrow.
I'm gonna quit going
Let's
to Sports Reference, by the way, because it keeps glitching out my computer. So I'm just gonna quit going to Sports Reference.
All right, man. All right.
Because yeah, every time I do Sports Reference for anything at all, it just my computer's messed up.
All right. So where you heading out? Or you staying?
Oh no, I'm saying here. I'm just saying like the Sports Reference page. I'm gonna stay off of.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's where I get.
was so-
That's where I help with. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was saying like I usually get my stats off of Sports Reference, like for all the sports.
I go to Basketball Reference.
Yep.
For
that's
basketball.
What I was
Yep. You're done on my team, dude. If you lose this week and I win, I'm right back up into the second, bro. I'm right there.
Oh, there's
Right.
a fantasy war. I love it.
Nicky's in first. Nick's in second. I'm in third. So it's just like we're all like separated by a game. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Lindy, I just sent you a link. What else is here? Derek White and Payne Pritchard both had combined 84 points. How? What does it mean? Like, I've seen these people with, like, let's say their team, Eagles Syndicate. What does the syndicate part mean? Like, I've seen it everywhere. Anyway, yeah, you're doing
I
it for
have no
halftime. There you go.
I don't do fantasy.
Yeah. No, Syndicate. It's like the YouTube channel. Someone makes their YouTube channel like the Eagles Syndicate
Oh,
or Raiders Syndicate or Chargers Syndicate. And I'm like, what does the syndicate mean?
do I need to have
And
a
I
Chiefs syndicate?
I don't know, but can someone please tell me what the syndicate mean? I'm like, it like really bothers me. I would have done that for the Eagles if I knew what it meant.
Don't mind me. I've got a world with me.
What is up, Lindy? How you doing, man?
Good to see you again, Mitch.
Good to see you too. Lindy, this is my guy Pyro. Pyro, this is Lindy. He's actually an Eagles legend in the community here. So,
Very nice. Then
Well,
I shouldn't talk then.
he's a Chiefs fan.
Oi! You just exposed me.
I mean,
I put
come on.
two and two together. I put two and two together after the discussion of moving Tyreek Hill. So
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. I
So
also did
Lindy,
just crap talk the Bills too, but
That too. But Lindsay, I gotta ask you, man. Barkley and Bond, the contracts. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Um, I mean, I think just about every Eagles fan saw this coming.
Yeah.
In a sense for Saquon Barkley. Um, i- you can also put into perspective that this could very well be the same thing for Zach Bond as well. But in me watching multiple different YouTubers and sports media personalities and whatnot, I'm not gonna name anybody because there's
Yeah.
quite a few people that go um, they're they're hypocritical in their analysis. But one thing that I thought to myself was um, I kind of knew I kind of knew Bond wasn't going to be much of an overpay because I think this puts him in the realm of around Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen money, which
Mhm.
is which is fair for the production that he gave us in only a year's time. So I said to myself, I think the most that I would give him was 3 years at $54 million. Now I don't know how he managed to do it because the criticisms attached to like a contract such as this, he ended up paying Bond what Bryce Huff got just the prior season, and we all know what happened with that, unfortunately. So I would say I would say that was rightfully deserved. Um, I don't know if anybody saw this coming whatsoever. That type of production, and nor do I think it would have happened without the coaching staff that the Eagles have constructed this time with with the veteran leader in Vic Fangio, who uh, changed the narrative about him that was placed by a lot of Miami Dolphins players. I'm sure they're kicking themselves right now for trying to trying to paint that picture about him after his defense being a number one defense that wins a Super Bowl. And I think both of those feats. I don't believe Vic Fangio has conquered either one of those before. I think it's a first in both categories. So my long-winded answer for Zach Bond is, like I said, I think it was well deserved. But I was cautious personally that I didn't want to give him too much money on 1 year of production. I want to see him repeat. I want to see him repeat or get close to the type of year that he just had. It's very hard to do all pro in consecutive seasons unless you're just a player like Saquon Barkley's caliber, for example. He sets himself apart in terms of contract negotiations. That this this kid is a proven commodity in the NFL already, and Zach did not have that luxury when it came to contractual negotiations. But in terms of where Saquon has put himself in this position off of such a mistake the New York Giants have made. Probably one of the biggest mistakes for a franchise in NFL history because signing Saquon essentially, in a sense, uh, got us a Super Bowl victory. But
Mhm.
it was different on the means of Saquon versus Zach Bond, and overall, for Howie to be this active this early, coming off of a second Lombardi victory, I think speaks volumes that he's ahead of the game in the NFL, opposed to the rest of the franchises trying to play catch up, and he's playing chess while they're still on a checkerboard.
This whole thing is just crazy because remember how everybody wanted him gone? Like everybody because of his drafting, like Rager, Whiteside, and all that. But he turned it around with getting Devontae Smith, Jordan Davis, and all these guys. But I just want to know what made him change his mind. That's my thing with this draft technique because it just doesn't go away like a whim. Someone must have told him like, dude, what you're drafting is not going the way it should. So you got to change something up and quick. So that's my thing. How did that happen? How did that go down? Like Jeffrey Lurie say something? You think? I wonder how that
Personally,
went down.
personally, I don't think so because for every um for every front office position, they have their own responsibilities to take care of. But as a general manager, and we have seen this throughout the years in Howie Roseman's tenure, when it comes to this type of decision making, he has excuse me, I'm a little bit tired this evening, but
You're good.
he has a responsibility attached to him in regards to building up a collection of individuals in that draft room uh, to be able uh, to collectively make these um, type of decisions. And I think it's been proven over the last few seasons with guys like Andrew Barry is the first name that pops to my head. For example, the promotion that he received amongst I think it's been five other five other people that have been poached from the Howie Roseman tree in the Eagles organization when it comes to uh, not just the draft but personnel. Um, so I look at that, but I also look at it as this is a team and this is a fan base in which when you're subjected to the hunger of victory and the hunger of success, I think the window for making mistakes starts to thin out, much like when the Super Bowl window is talked about, whether it's wide open or it's closed for certain teams. The same can very well be said when it comes to making these type of personnel decisions, whether it's through free agency, trade discussions, or the draft. It's its own window in the franchise house. So I think there's a difference between expectation and reality that kind of gets skewed a little bit at times because as a fan base we want our team to win a Super Bowl just about every single year, and as Super Bowl 59 has shown, that's very difficult to do in the NFL pertaining to the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, no disrespect whatsoever, but for Howie to go through the ups and downs that he has been, every season's a learning lesson for him. I know it's been said that you learn more from your losses than you do your victories. And for him to compile a lot of little wins after some colossal mistakes, if you want to categorize them as such, the little wins produce an even bigger victory in the end in getting this second Lombardi trophy, just to just to sharpen the iron that is his decision making with these players. And you gotta understand that you can't continue to make the same mistakes season in and season out. So again, another long-winded answer because that's how I am. Sometimes I get carried away,
No,
but
all good, dude. All
Me
good.
all
too.
all in all, that's pretty much how it works for him. Uh, but he has he has a very good way of making the necessary recoveries that don't put the franchise in a position where they have to clean up larger messes that are a detriment to the organization's success in the long term. And I think a lot of them have been short term mistakes rather than long term mistakes.
Yep. So AK, how you doing?
What's up, bud? How you doing,
What's
man?
up,
Oh
man?
my goodness, look who it is.
Mr. Lindy,
Wow.
how you doing, sir?
I think AK and I need to get into a time machine or something.
Right?
Holy
Whoever thought
crap.
we'd be sitting here again?
But really
Well,
quick,
never say
real,
never.
that is true. Really quick, AK, this is
Yeah.
Pyro. He's actually in the network now. He has his own Monday Night Raw post show, and he does
Yeah.
football content for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. Welcome, sir. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
He
Good meeting
Pyro,
you.
he's the actual founder of the network. I'm just a little
Oh,
co-founder
nice.
here. Yeah, it's him, not me.
Well, it's an honor.
Uh,
I
yeah,
appreciate it, man. No, and you know, I'm gonna sit down and be humble here. No, it's been all Mitch for this last year and a half, man.
stop
You
it.
know, I can't do it without him. Can't do it without all the hardcore core people that have been here since the beginning.
Hardcore.
So hardcore
And
core, yeah.
I
yeah,
like
and
that.
guys,
So
The hardcore.
AK, yeah, AK is working on something behind the scenes, and it's gonna be really cool once it's done. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Cool
shit,
beans.
man.
No,
I like
no. I would say for those who don't know that are maybe a little bit newer pertaining to guys like AK and Mitch. These two gentlemen have been at it for uh, quite a few years now that have started from humble beginnings, especially AK's Eagles Uncensored days. And it just makes me it makes me go back to it makes me go back to some of my old rookie content when it came to the draft coverages when we would go live for hours on end.
Yeah.
So full circle moments like this being as organic as they are don't come very often.
No,
absolutely not.
man, it's Lindy, you know, it's always a pleasure to share a room with you, man. We've done a lot together and no, man, it is amazing how far all of us has come, you know.
Mhm.
I really can't
You
even
two at
remember
least.
the start out anymore, you know. It just kind of all blends together. I missed a lot in this last year though, unfortunately. I'll be back at the end of the month once I can get back in my account. Cuz, you know, dumbass me forgot my password. So, yeah, you know, is what it is. Um anyway, no, man, good to see you back on and good to hear your voice, man. For sure.
I appreciate it. I'm nowhere near back in the capacity that I used to be, but I make sure to pop into old friends that have given me the time on their platforms, just so it's not something that has gone to waste in a sense, you know.
Oh no, friendships were made, man. You know,
Yeah,
and you never want to throw them away. Uh, I know we got all have lives and you know personal things going on off air, and you know some of us can't always be here, and it's just good to see them when they are around. So yeah, it's been a
yeah, no.
long time, dude. Long time.
Mitch already knows because I mentioned it in the last conversation live that I had with him. But I'm uh, I'm going to be a new father, and my son's coming in a few weeks.
Oh
Wow.
snap!
Yeah, yep.
A little Lindy.
So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So first time father. Needless to say, it's a huge transition. Not that I think it'd be something that completely deters me from possibly making content again. I have no idea. I've been told by a couple of friends in the Eagles YouTube space that I should come back, and I could understand why. But yeah, I still haven't completely pondered
Yeah.
whether I should do it again.
Well, listen, man, don't rush into it. You know, as a father too, and also a father to a disabled kid, I'll tell you, man, they take time. You know, especially
Yeah,
as a first father. You know, you try to get your own routine. You try to get your own way of doing things. You know, so don't rush it. You know, take your time, do it your way, enjoy it. You know, it's extremely fun. Um, you know, so all I can say is if you ever need advice or just someone to talk to, man, you can definitely call me because, like I said, having a disabled kid, you've seen it all, you know,
right.
truly. So anytime I can help, I'm always here just to even bounce stuff up, you know,
Yeah.
is what
Good
it is,
deal.
man.
He still
Good
talks
deal.
to AK. Lindy, AK still talks to Foothills.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yep, all the time. Yep.
Uh,
We'll be
the
80 years old sitting on rockers talking. Man. It's just,
that's a throwback to one of my first uh was that a touchdown talk
Yeah.
episode I did? I
that
think
was
Yeah.
it
a
was.
touchdown
Yeah.
talk. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. We got
Yep.
Yep.
that. East meets
That was
West.
the yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the episode where I had a random flood in a random not a flood but a dripping in my house. I
I
I
remember
still
that.
That's
remember
right.
that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, I was close to doing it. I was close to doing a season 2 of Touchdown Talk before I left the platform because I think I finished with Philly 500.
Yeah.
I think he was my last episode. So, but yeah, enough of catching up. So this doesn't get any more boring for the viewers because we can save this for DMs. I think between AK and I, we haven't talked Eagles football in a long time. So
Almost 2 years.
yeah,
Yep.
um, I gotta get your take on the eh, just the what's the word I'm looking for here? Um, the 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 contrast in meaning between Super Bowl 52 and Super Bowl 59. That how much more exciting of a victory was it for you to knock off Kansas City versus the Patriots?
Listen, what I say next, don't let this, you know, demise what we just did. Um, but I don't think anything will ever take away from our first ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the first ever. It's the first time you feel that joy. It's the first time that you feel that excitement. You know, it's really
Hmm.
you, and that you won. Um, this year was almost expected. No offense up there, Pyro. Sorry,
Wow.
bud.
None taken.
Um, it was almost expected. Mitch knows this, man. Even though I'm not on here talking, he calls me, bounce shits off me all the time, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm talking to him. When you have a team like we had this year, when you can go in and you can mollywop the Baltimore Ravens and the Bills, and Kansas City's just squeaking by them, I was not worried, man. In all honesty, and I told Mitch this: if this Super Bowl wasn't a dog walk, I would have been disappointed. I really would have, because no disrespect to Kansas City at all, but their rosters, bro, they did not match up. They didn't. Defensively, they got a great defense. They always have. They always will as long as, you know, Spags is there. But they have a great defense. But even you saw, we just have too much power on offense, dude. Between Saquon, Hurts, Goddard, AJ, Smitty, even Dotson. this year.
Yep.
For how little bit he did, he was a solid piece when we needed him.
Correct.
Even some of our backup tight ends at certain times of the year were stellar. Even Gainwell did really well whenever given the chance to get the ball. So eh, there was no doubt in my mind about going into that Super Bowl we were losing.
I th-
There really wasn't, man. There you could tell. I'm going to put it this way: a lot of people look at the AFC as the pinnacle of the NFL right now. I'm just going to tell you this: I know there's 3 teams on the NFC who could have beaten Kansas City in that Super Bowl. Green Bay
Yep.
being one of them.
Ooh.
Okay, and I'm just saying, man, it was almost a guarantee. The only way we lost that Super Bowl is if we did it to ourselves. So
well,
I loved it. I enjoyed it. But hey, guess what? I want another one now. Go get me another one.
yep.
You know, like it almost doesn't become a game anymore. Now it's expected. We know how good this team is. We know how good this team has been over the last 10 years. There is no more time to half-ass. There is no more time to throw excuses. This is a very young, talented defense with a very young but veteran offense and some aging veterans as well. It is time to go for the next 5 years here and get as much as you can, as long as you can. Between the core of defensive young players and offense, dude, if Howie does it right, like you were saying, if he keeps bringing in and overlapping players who are good to replace players that we lose, you can keep this thing going for at least 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, that's pretty much
Right.
what Kansas City did for the last 4 or 5 years. They just replaced certain key pieces with cheaper but yet productive key pieces. Everyone sits here this year, this offseason, and I hear them talking about Myles Garrett, and I love Myles Garrett. I would go over the moon to have Myles Garrett on this team. But that's only if I don't have to piss away my future for one man.
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather go get a cheaper Khalil Mack or Chase Young or even Max Crosby before he just went to Buffalo today, right? Pretty
No,
sure
he's
that
staying in
happened.
Vegas.
No, he's
Yeah.
staying the Raiders. He's staying.
Oh, he
Yeah,
is?
he's
Okay.
staying.
Well, even
Yep.
at one time, he was up for grabs. I would have liked to try and got him, but I don't. My thing is, yes, Garrett is a fantastic piece, but I'm pretty sure Khalil Mack can also get 9 sacks, and he can't be any worse than Josh Huff, right? I'm pretty sure Chase Young can get multiple sacks and still not be as bad as Josh Huff. I'm just saying there are cheaper alternatives that, yes, are less productive than Garrett, but are productive that can still give you what you need to win the Super Bowl next year.
Let me run something by the Chiefs fan in here, Pyro. Let me run something by you here. And I pieced this together in the midst of the conversation when I asked the question to AK about the if there is a if there's a significant contrast between both Super Bowl victories for the Eagles in recent time, and I go back to the 2023 season for us, and I'm sure you've seen a little bit of it from afar in a different conference, particularly when we came to Kansas City for that regular season game, and I think it was a 3-point victory or whatnot because there was a couple of miscues in the for the Chiefs offense, some dropped passes, and I think a missed field goal. I don't remember, but what I do remember from the Eagles season that year coming off of the Super Bowl loss. They maintained their intensity in winning football games early. But the way they melted down was catastrophic, to say the least. It was embarrassing from our perspective. It was very embarrassing. But and I look at the way the season started and concluded for the Kansas City Chiefs this past season, and it almost seems to me between the 23 Eagles and the 24 Chiefs that both teams have a parallel in which they were almost living on borrowed time, but the circumstances of that borrowed time were different in which the result of it was. I think for the Eagles in 23, they were not strong enough intangibly to take themselves um, into into a deep playoff run, obviously. But for the Chiefs, they did have it in continuity combined with the coaching staff has a that has a significant amount of experience. So, in a sense, would you concur that there is a parallel there between the 23 Eagles and the 24 Chiefs to where they were living on borrowed time in different circumstances? Or do you tie it to something else?
I think I tied on something else. I think the Eagles had too much stock in their hype in 23. I think they were just trying to. I here's the thing. Like, I think everything with Super Bowl 59 was all Kansas City's fault. The O
Hmm.
line collapsing the way it was. Sometimes that happens. We had some injured players. That's not what killed us in the end, though. Um, I think the Eagles run off of revenge, and I think the Eagles run off of what they need to do now. And so 23, what they needed the most was revenge against Kansas City, and then they took their eye off the ball. The problem with Kansas City is they grinded the most they could for that three-peat, and it couldn't happen that one game. But I think Kansas City was focused the entire time. I just think right at the very end, right there, just couldn't have it, couldn't hang in there, and it's just a circumstance of what you saw in 23 were compared to 24. With 24 for Philadelphia, were fixed mistakes, were learned mistakes turned into championship glory.
Now, can I say something real fast? I will say the difference between 24 and this year's team, or 23 and 24. I would say you probably neglected your wide receivers a lot less. I mean, yeah, you got D Hop halfway through the season, but bro, like, let's be honest, he's kind of washed. It's not D
Oh
Hop
yeah,
at 28, 27.
absolutely.
I would literally say your downfall this year just came from lack of ownership on the wide receiver end. In all honesty, if Pat
Yeah.
just had maybe one more, it might have been just a little easier. But hey, you can't have every position perfect, right?
Oh yeah, of course. And I think Patrick can thrive off of any position. It's just or any receiver put in his place. Like D Hop did phenomenal with Patrick Mahomes. It's just he didn't do what D Hop does, and that's what really upset us in the Super Bowl was the fact that D Hop couldn't catch anything. But I mean, I just think that you put, and it's been proven, you put anybody with Mahomes, and Mahomes is going to thrive. I just think that that Super Bowl, it just didn't work out for anybody. The defense for the Eagles were just way too good in the 24 season, way too good. But yeah, I agree with you though. I think the receivers, they're starting to develop more, but I do see a little bit of not favoritism, but just like I rely on this person the most. I'm going to throw to this person more, and that's not the right way to go because Kelsey's getting washed. Um, Rice isn't there. You've got Hollywood, who hasn't seen hardly any field time at all during the season, and then you have D Hop, who's digressing really bad. If that's the only people you're going to throw to, that's a problem.
Right? I mean, hell, whenever Worthy's your only light and shining armor in a Super Bowl, and he's a rookie, that's screaming issues, you know. And I agree with you on the Kels thing, man. I said it too. I said, listen, this man has settled down. Okay,
Mhm.
he's with Tay Tay now. He's thinking life after football. The man has done 1 Super Bowls. You know, he's done everything a tight end can do.
Oh yeah.
It, yeah, sure. Of course, you still want to win. You know, everyone wants to win, but that's not the importance to him anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's
hmm
thinking life after football more rather than life in football now.
No, I agree with you on that. And I mean, yeah, go for it, man. Like I have no resentment. If you hear any background noise, by the way, I'm kind of doing an unboxing during the stream. But yeah, no, I don't resent him at all for that. He has every right to have his own life, and why not now? I mean, you just said it, where he does have a life on his own now. Live it, man. You got America's dream girl, and you've got all the yards in the world. You've held so many records, dude. Enjoy your life, bro. That's fine with me.
I don't know. I don't know if you're going to follow me on. I don't know if you're going to follow me on this, AK, or not. But I'm a little bit conflicted in. I'm a little bit conflicted in the reasoning that I'm hearing here. Is it? It almost seems that there's still a superiority complex here when it comes to the Chiefs, in which the rhetoric sounds like there's a discounting of the Eagles talent, to where the Chiefs language is that they still felt that they were the better team in this situation. And I would argue that can be debated, not only from a roster standpoint, but from a schematic standpoint. I think one of the more obvious downfalls to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl was the fact that they did not have any sort of commitment to the run whatsoever. And I remember this year they went ahead and tried to do um, a double feature in the backfield when it comes to running backs. They bring back Kareem Hunt to pair him with Isaiah Pacheco, and it was working to a degree where they were still respecting their passing game, because you have Patrick Mahomes, who is transcendent in his own right with the way that he's able to work with almost virtually any wide receiver, and that's why they were comfortable with letting Tyreek Hill go, in a sense, because he still had Travis Kelsey at the time. And then you can plug in a Juju Smith-Schuster, you can plug in a DeAndre Hopkins, you can plug in a Hollywood Brown. You can get scraps from other teams that are either giving up on players because they're not reaching their potential, or they're having injury concerns. And because it's Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter. But I would say this more so has to do with maybe a little bit of arrogance on the Chiefs' end, that they thought that they could use the same game plan that they did uh, in the previous matchup, before the rematch. And unfortunately for them, it just didn't work. So I don't know that this was complete. This was a complete. I don't know that this was. Um, I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying, in a sense, but I definitely think that there was a little bit of a disrespect in the Chiefs, thinking that they were still the better team regardless. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. That should be the mentality that you'd want to have. But overall, I don't feel that I'm comfortable with. Well, this was entirely the Chiefs' fault that they lost, and if they just did X, Y, and Z, they would have won the game. I don't know that that is I don't know that that is the correct mindset in just discounting the level of talent that the Eagles had and how they were able to put it together to get to this point this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that question was towards me, correct?
No, I was not necessarily. I was leaving
Oh,
it
okay,
open.
okay. No, okay, gotcha. No, I I see what you're saying, and I actually agree with you on what you're saying because listen, I even told Mitch this before the Super Bowl even happened. I said, listen, I said, whenever you pair Darius Slay, big play Slay, you do Coop and well, um, Quinyon Mitchell, you take those three against the three wide receivers Kansas City has.
Breaking news: Joey Bosa's been released by the Chargers.
What?
Holy shit!
Wow!
What?
He just got
Wow!
released.
Thank God. Yes.
Wow!
Yeah,
I
no,
am
that they're
free.
listen,
I am
man,
free of one pass rusher.
they're in Cap Hill, so I mean, it's yeah, they
Well,
were
Wow!
even they're in terrible trouble. So
God, I never thought I'd see the day.
How much you
Whew.
want to bet Philly makes a play for him if they can move off of Bryce Huff's contract?
we're probably we're open to trading for Miles Garrett. Is that right? Like, is that the direction they're going to right now?
I don't know, but if I mean for Howie
and
Roseman's going
Howie,
to
I trust,
exercise.
dog.
He's
I
going to
do
Howie,
too.
I
exercise
I
trust.
all
do too.
options here.
I do too.
By the
No,
way,
listen, if sorry about the train, I do apologize. I'll wait to go. Go ahead, Lindy. I'll mute myself till this dumbass goes by.
No. All I was saying was that Howie's going to exercise all options. I think we've known to this point that he's not the kind of GM that's going to put all his eggs into one basket, much like the disastrous decision that the Giants did in choosing Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley, just to waste their money. But that's not the here nor there at this point. We're beating a dead horse. But yeah, they're that's just another option that's going to be put on Howie's desk if this doesn't work out with Miles. Es- um, Especially from my standpoint, it, the level of talent that Miles Garrett is there's not a lot of Miles Garrett's in the league, obviously, but I'm looking at a player that's 32 years old that's already gone through the process of rehabilitating from a very significant injury at his position. So for a guy that's going to be entering his mid 30s soon, um, I you're taking a risk here, and you would have to make this decision based on if this guy is going to allow us to not miss a beat from our Super Bowl winning year in maintaining the caliber of a number one defense that can take us to at least two more Super Bowls while he's on the younger side of 30 and remains healthy, while also understanding that he is going to bring probably the most expensive price tag after the money that Max Crosby just got to stay in Vegas. So I think I think with the Max Crosby contract and then Bosa just getting released, I think that increases the level of risk um, in trying to acquire Miles' services.
You know, two things. One, I remember back in 2018 and 19, I want to say, I think we all as Eagle fans can remember whenever we were paying Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson $20 million each to sit on our bench for a year and a half.
Mm.
Okay. I never want to find our team in that situation again, where we are paying players outrageous amounts of money to not even play on our field, a la Huff, so to speak.
People
Okay.
know my opinion on that much.
Yeah. So, it's, listen, I have really, over this last year, have twisted my mind around how I look at football. Okay. When it comes from a quarterback standpoint, when it comes from a team standpoint, a coaching standpoint, and just every individual player in itself. Okay. I don't look at football anymore the way I used to. I just can't. When you have a quarterback like we do, who everyone has doubted from the day he was in college, and he comes out and he appears in 2 Super Bowls in 4 years and wins one.
Huh? Hello?
I thought I glitched out for a minute.
Yeah, I thought it was me this time because I've been glitching. I think
Yeah.
AK glitched out.
Yeah. AK?
He's I remember he's had Wi-Fi issues from time to time because he used to be he
Oh,
used to be in his I think it was his attic at times, and then he would move
Yeah.
to the garage. Yeah.
He did
Oh no,
another
I'm here, man. No,
Or did you
can you
just
hear me?
draw a blank? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, man.
Okay.
I guess I walked too far away from the house and my Wi-Fi cut out, so StreamYard went
Yeah.
retarded on me.
Gotcha.
I called it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but and then my second question is here. Well, actually, the first one wasn't a question, but my
Uh,
second one is we're talking about this Miles Garrett thing, okay? So we might as well stay on it. What does Miles Garrett get you? You go out, you make this move. What does he get you? And now, if you're only going out to get him just to go and try and do a repeat, it's not worth it. If you're just trying to win for one more year, okay? In my opinion, it's not because you can find other players to fill in certain holes, like I said, that are less productive, but still be productive enough to make you get back to where you want to go. It's about a money thing for me when it comes to Miles Garrett. You know he's going to want to be paid.
oh,
We
really?
have
It's a
a
money thing for me too.
we have a lot of
Damn,
young
you didn't go
players.
that route. Damn it.
We no, I didn't. We have a lot of
Damn.
young players on this team that are getting ready to come up on contract. When you start bringing in someone with the fucking time or with the frame of Miles Garrett and the things that come with him, that costs a lot of money. And then that money is not able to be used on your young guys coming up, a la Carter and Quinyon Mitchell in a few years and DeJean and we got N'Kobe Dean coming up and there's just some people that you probably still want to keep. So the more you dabble into that money, the less people you get to keep in the long run, which breaks everything up. And if this is about repeating and possibly trying to at least be in the conversation for the next 5 years, you need your money to be able to do that.
Right.
And
I would.
and that is something I'm not willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up 2 3 years of our future for one guy just because people want to repeat 1 year. I want to do what Kansas City just did and go 5 years straight and win three. But you can't do that when you're paying somebody $80 million to be your end. If you get my drift.
Well, at that point, you're gonna have to justify a 1A 1B conversation and split that into two different questions. One one does the player essentially perform as as two people, or B, would you rather split it into a committee form, the way we seen how the Eagles were able to do it by a rotation and keeping guys fresh and switching them on and off the bench between plays, the way they were able to in Super Bowl 52. That's how the question is going to split. Now, whether pertaining to Miles Garrett, if it's going to result in a Super Bowl or not, obviously that's the end goal in what you want to accomplish. However, from a contractual standpoint, the end has to justify the means. Two, you have to assess a level of consistency behind it. So if you're only going to get one high high level year of production out of Miles, which is the expectation based on the player he is, if you're only going to get 1 year out of him, uh, then the contract doesn't fulfill itself from a organizational standpoint. It does from a player standpoint because they've earned it in the position that they put themselves in regarding their talent. But I would say for me, not only does a Super Bowl have to be the end goal, but much like my reasoning for Zach Bond, when we've seen one All Pro season from him that was unexpected, and you see the type of developmental jump that he took under Vic Fangio. And the linebackers coach, that his name is escaping me right now, because I think Kellen Moore wants to poach him also. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's a different situation. So what I said about Zach Bond before you got in here, AK, I was mentioning the fact that I did not want to overpay him on the grounds that I want to see consistency out of him. uh, Coming from the practice squad of the Saints, nobody expected this to happen. He comes here, he turns his career completely around and ends up being one of, if not the best linebacker this past season in the NFL. And obviously that's difficult to do with the
Yeah.
amount of talent that there is in the league. But you also can't count your chickens early and overpay somebody off of one good year. So I went into this thinking that he was still going to make under $20 million a year. But I had him personally set at 3 years, $54 million, because
Yeah.
I didn't think they would be able to get away with a Bryce Huff contract situation. But Howie Roseman did it. So credit to him, but also credit to Zach Bond and his agent accepting this offer to stay in Philadelphia, which provides a perk to him as well, because this maintains continuity with the defense that you built yourself in to be able to become the player that you are now.
Yes.
So in regards to Miles Garrett, it's not going to be just about trying to get back to the Super Bowl. If this is a player that is capable of multiple All Pro seasons, even in his early 30s, there's going to be two ways that his contract um, would be satisfied from an organizational standpoint. Either he Either he's a part of the team that gets us to a Super Bowl again, or we see a consistency in that all pro potential and get it for multiple years instead of just one.
No, and you know what? I everything you said is right. Everything you said. But here is my whole thing. We just won a Super Bowl. without
Yeah.
Miles Garrett, and we
Right.
did it
Right.
extremely convincingly with a guy who, for the first year ever, started all year long as a defensive end in Nolan Smith, with a 36-year-old Brandon Graham and a Jackson Hunt. You
Right.
know, with a Jalen Carter, a Jordan Davis, and a Milton Williams. Okay,
So
if you can do
not
it
to cut you off,
convincingly without
not to cut
him,
you off, but
go ahead.
also to add context to what you're saying for other Eagles fans, remember Devin White was supposed to be starting over Zach Bond.
Yes.
So you can add that into the equation as well.
Yeah, you know, you have all these players, and like I said, they went ramshot through the NFL this year, no problem at all, without him. So you're telling me that we need him to do another one? No, I'm sorry, you can't make me buy that, dude. And we don't. Like I said, you just need to keep good pieces there. You need to keep the rotation good. Like I said, if that is a less productive Miles Garrett but can still produce, then by all means do that. But you don't need to sell the farm because you didn't need him this year to do it. And if you didn't need him this year, you don't need him next.
Right. So there's two different complexes to Howie Roseman, which I think separates him from quite a few different GMs. Is that he'll either masterfully scour the bottom of the barrel in terms of free agency and getting guys to buy in to buy into his sales pitch, and then they work and then most of the time they work out once they adjust to the culture of the team. Or he's also good at adding a strength to what's already a strength and doubling down on it. Now
Yep.
that has backfired. It has backfired at times. Um, enter the Golden Tate deal of 2018. That didn't work out whatsoever, unfortunately. And I didn't necessarily think we needed Golden Tate at that point in time. So
No.
those two things, Howie is very good at doing. But the it's when it doesn't work, it's a catch-22, and it almost puts him in a position where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I think when it comes to when it comes to Miles Garrett being the dangling carrot on the hamster wheel, I think that's where he needs to you know, stand his ground and make sure that this is something in the long term that's not going to be a detriment to the football team. Much of what you're talking about, to where you feel that there's going to be more of a success in going from a quantitative standpoint with serviceable players versus a qualitative standpoint in one player that costs as much as four different players.
Okay. Sorry, Mitch. I completely came on here and took over your show. I apologize.
No, it's all good, man. I'm actually gonna end this. I'm gonna end this in like
Well,
5 minutes
real quick,
anyway.
real quick. I do have
Wow.
a question, and you guys can even answer this too. I would actually prefer to not go and get Miles Garrett. Take that
I,
money that we have, and in all honesty, Lindy, the only reason I'm saying this is because I was on your show the night that it happened, and you know how big of a Jordan Davis fan that I am and
Yeah.
was whenever we got him. But
Yep.
I'm telling you, so far, And I told you this on your show. I love the pick, but in 2 years, I'll know whether or not it was the right one. And
Yeah.
holy shit, Kyle Hamilton has balled the fuck out for 3 years now, and there's
Yeah.
no looking back. Okay. But what I'm saying is, JD did do good in the playoffs this year. I will give him that. Whenever he played, he did pretty damn good. But in my opinion, I we need to keep Milton Williams. JD's not ready.
Yeah.
He's not. I'm sorry, he's not. I would take that money that everyone wants to spend on Miles Garrett. If you want to get back to the Super Bowl, you need Milton Williams. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, you need him. If you lose Milton Williams and you leave it up to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, we might be fucked. And I'm just saying that in a nice way because
So
JD is good, but he's not Milton.
Let
so
me ask you.
I'm
Let me ask you this: is it more about Jordan Davis not being ready, or has he already hit his ceiling? Because when he was selected, you remember that the two of us have went over the discrepancy in his snap counts at Georgia, that they
Yep.
weren't very high, regardless of the fact that a lot of the guys on the defensive
Defensive
line
front
of
rotating.
Georgia, yeah, yeah,
Yep. Well,
and we
and that
weren't
was the
sure if
major
that.
thing that we talked about on that draft night. And I said, I want to hope to God that it's literally just the fact that they had seven like amazing pass rushers and they just wanted to get everyone out at one time. But now that I've seen him 3 years in, he's not a three down defensive tackle. He's not.
Right.
He's just
so,
not. He's your first two run stopper, gap hitter, nose tackle guy that you need. He's your Vince Wilfork, and that is what he is. Other than
so
that, he is not a pass rusher. He is not going to sack the quarterback, but maybe 2 times a year. You need to keep Milton. Go ahead, Mitch. Sorry.
so thank you. It's my show. Thank you. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
that.
I
But
know. You're welcome.
it's actually kind of funny. I was talking about this with my dad a couple hours ago, and he said franchise tag Becton. He's because it's going to be tough to keep Mil Williams, Josh Sweat, everybody. Franchise tag Becton for the offensive line. I'm like, you can go that route. Definitely go that route. If you want to keep the trenches there, keep it open, and keep it stocked. Do you
Well,
agree
listen,
with
the
that?
only reason why I say don't do that is because listen, everyone at the beginning of this season
Yeah.
had Mekhi Becton washed. He's trash. He's dumpster. He can't do anything. The Jets literally had him from tackle to guard, and he just can't play. And no
Right.
lie, in one off season, we turned the kid into a Super Bowl champ. Now, granted, he
Yeah.
does have a ring, but the same thing that Lindy said that he was looking at for Bond, I'm looking at Mekhi Becton. You're not going to have to pay Mekhi Becton a shit ton of money. The dude had one successful season in 4 years, and three of them were shit with the Jets. I can't pay you top dollar as a guard just because you had one successful season with us. Dude, we can make anyone good here. Like, let's be honest. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disappoint any other teams, but we have the best offensive line coach in football. He can turn the worst guy into an all star. He can take a guy who's never touched a football and make him an all pro. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We can make anyone good here. So unfortunately for Mackay, he came to a team where we have turned the shittiest players of shit into all greats. So no, you got to show me more. You want to pay? You want paid? That's fine. I'll give you like 3 years, maybe 18 million or something. But I'm not giving you no crazy ass number like Landon Dickerson and shit. Now, Lindy, if you disagree, please feel free to say it. But that's just my standpoint on it.
The only slight disagreement in terms of offensive linemen, I can point to two guys in particular, but I think the only reason is because they either didn't buy in fully, or they just didn't completely grasp
Listen,
the
man, I
the
was trying to
teaching.
forget about Dillard, but now that you're bringing this up, I guess we're
There
gonna
it is.
relive this shit. But no,
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, I no, I blanked that out. You're right. Dillard
yeah.
was crap though. You can't help
Andre
someone who
Dillard
doesn't want to
and
be helped.
Yeah, Andre Dillard and Jack Driscoll.
Yeah, you can't help people who don't want to be helped though. That has nothing to do with Stoutland. You know, the Andre is just crap, and that was truly crap. There's no one that can help that man.
I
But
mean,
no, that's all.
if if you want to put Nate Herbig in the category 2, I think that's fine. But it's I also feel there's a sense in how it transpires when it pertains to the draft in what their respected floors and ceilings are at the same time. So I mean,
Yeah.
not every not not every player is a fit for the coach in the building, but I think it's also on the coaches well, to try and turn that sort of narrative around. But I'm not going to do that to the one and only Statling University. So
Right. Yeah.
because his track record, outside of a few players, without evidence or contextual reasoning, without that, his track record's proven.
Alright, hold on, I gotta exit this out. Alright, that was a great show, guys. MK Lounge lasted 2 hours. I'm thinking about doing this every week. You know, things change, basketball and whatnot. So, Pyro, thank you for joining us for the
Thank you for
first
having
MK
me.
Lounge. Yeah, of course. Sorry about your Chiefs again, but yeah, man. Yeah, let the people know where they can find you, man, and then we can head on out.
Of course. So my YouTube channel is Fiber Productions, where I do a lot of stop motion animation, action figure videos. I also do video game content, and I do short films. What else do I do? I do other like digital art stuff, like NFL related stuff. So a lot of cool stuff on my channel if you guys want to check that out. And other than that, stuff such and whatnot, and don't forget the whatnot, most important part. And yeah, that's all for me.
And don't forget the Raw Chaos coverage. Hey, I got it right again.
Yes.
I'm happy. Right after Monday Night Raw post show. And Lindy, thank you for stopping by again, man. This was actually kind of kind of insane with you and AK chopping it up like the old days. So I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, it's like we
it
never
was
stopped, man.
Right? You guys,
it was kind of a ill-advised channel takeover for a minute there. I thought for a second Pyro was thinking to himself, get these two blabbermouths out of here.
Well, I'm a blabbermouth myself, so I get it.
yeah. What is up, man? What is up? Yeah. Tomorrow pick and roll for me at 6. Sixers game again. Oh God, why do I put that? Why do I torture myself through that? But anyways,
You guys aren't the Mavericks. Just be appreciative of that.
that is. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
The Mavericks are
I'm
so
trying.
good,
I'm
though.
trying to get over it. I'm trying. I'm trying to get over it.
I don't want to bring. Yeah.
Oh, my
Weird, bro.
my heart's in 4 pieces. It's not in 2 pieces. That was so hard.
Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna head on out, and yeah, everyone have a good rest of your night. Peace.
Have a good